But boy, in Reddit, I got my ass handed to me. Negative, negative, negative. And then I ultimately got banned out of it. Banned. All right, how's it going? Well, it's gonna be a little bit of a different today because I was going to do some cooking video while I was going to be talking about this subject, but my oven broke. But today I want to talk about getting banned from Reddit, specifically getting banned from the LGBTQ section. For years I've always went on there, posted, give my explanation. And while I have had slightly more of a centralist perspective, I didn't really get too much involved. I more or less read people's, posts and things like that, and was never really much involved. But sometimes I would say something. I would say, for example, they would say one view, and then I'd say, well, let's think of it from this perspective. Not that I was trying to disagree with them. I was just trying to share a different perspective. And there was something dealing with along the lines of drag queens, basically going into children's school and talking about diversity and inclusion and stuff like that within the LGBT community. I guess reading off books and stuff. I don't particularly have an issue with talking about the different types of people out there, whether you agree or disagree with it. But it does exist. There is gay people out there. They just exist. There's black people out there. They exist. There's lesbians. There's white people. There's all kinds of people in America. And I know that many Christians don't agree with the lifestyle of being gay or lesbian or transgender. I identify, I guess, more along the lines of Christian, but I'm not a hypocrite. If you go through the Bible, you're going to find all kinds of things that you're not going to agree with. In Christians, if we actually all practiced the Bible, everyone would be pretty much dead. So it's kind of silly how a lot of Christians are picking and choosing. But anyway, I'm deviating from the topic. So I was dealing with drag queens. So as usual, I went onto a thread where someone was showing their support for drag queens going into children's classrooms and talking about diversity and inclusion and stuff like that, which I don't think there's nothing wrong with someone going to the classroom and just talking about the different types of people, not diagnosing people, not telling them who they should or should not be, just talking about there are different types of people in the classroom. When I was a kid, that's what we talked about. We learned about Native Americans. We learned about African American culture. And, we learned all different types of culture. And that was okay. That's part of learning. You're learning to broaden your horizon and learn the different groups of people, different cultures. And this is no different. Talking about lesbians or gay and stuff like that, there's no difference in that. Suddenly it's a problem. They used to talk about interracial couple and how that was a sin. Where are we today with that? So while my view so far has probably been very liberal to most people watching, I actually took more of a centralist stand on one of these posts in Reddit. And I didn't know how, I kind of had mixed feelings with a drag queen going into a classroom and talking to children. I don't think there's nothing wrong with actually dressing up like a woman and going into a classroom and talking with children. I know a lot of people would disagree with it. I have nothing against that, but drag queen is not at all the same as a trans woman. They're not at all in the same universe. They're completely different. You look it up if you don't believe me. But the issue I had is what the drag queen culture can represent. It doesn't always represent this, but the drag shows I went to, let's just say, were for more mature audiences. And it was a drag queen show. So, and I wasn't necessarily disagreeing with the idea. I was just questioning it. That just because I question something doesn't mean I disagree with it. I was trying to understand the purpose of why someone's going as a drag queen to going from children, maybe teaching them that being a drag queen's okay. Maybe that was it. But I didn't fully understand it because I'm used to drag shows being more for mature audiences. So that's where I was coming from, my mentality. I realized drag queens had become more mainstream. You got the RuPaul Drag Race, but I was seeing that more as maybe a bit much. Maybe I was kind of coming across as that might be too big of a leap for some people. The drag queen thing is, I think people are more and more accepting of a trans woman coming in there and talking to children and stuff. I understand what they're trying to do maybe, but I'm just trying to understand why they're doing it from that angle. Like, it would be great to talk about that there are different types of things, but I don't know if the drag queen thing is like we're ready for it. Maybe that's what I'm trying to go at, and most people are just like flipping out and angry about it. It's just that maybe what I'm trying to get at is a lot of drag queen culture is very mature and for more mature audiences. I don't I don't know, the drag queen shows maybe I went to where I wouldn't take my kid to it. That's what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't take my kid to a drag show, not because it's a man dressed as a woman. That part's okay. I don't care about that. But the stuff I see there at those events is very mature. So it's more for mature audiences. So that's why I didn't feel these should mix the two at this point. So I would rather they have went as their true, authentic self as a gay man, going in there and talking about diversity and inclusion and reading off those books. But boy, in Reddit, I got my ass handed to me. Negative, negative, negative. And then I ultimately got banned. I couldn't believe it. I haven't been banned in years from Reddit, but does it surprise me? I'm a little frustrated with with getting banned over it, because I was expressing a different view. I was trying to learn and understand the drag queen culture. As you know, I don't know a lot of it. So some of it's coming possibly out of pure ignorance, but I was trying to ask questions and trying to understand why they were going as that and doing that. I said, I have donated, I have supported drag queens, and I still do. I just don't understand why it has to be done that way. You just have a different view on that. And I was trying to understand it, and I was asking questions, and I was met with a lot of hatefulness and closed-mindedness, and then I was ultimately banned. The lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans community, or whatever it is, should know all about hatred and people not accepting them for their differences. Practice what you preach. The good thing in all of this is I got banned. That's the bad thing and the good thing. I don't need to be around people that are closed-minded. I don't care what political side they're on. I don't need to be around people that are closed-minded. I need to be around people that are open-minded. And probably another thing, I don't need to be on social media that much. I have not been on Instagram and all that stuff as much as I used to. I don't think it's healthy for me. I think it's toxic. I think there's so much more richer outside in the real life, actually talking to people one-on-one. There's just so much going on out there. There's nothing wrong with being on the social media, but I don't think it's for me. It's not for me as much. I can go on there and maybe post Instagram and talk about some funny things, but for the most part, I'm not political. As you guys know, I'm not into politics, and that was the main reason why, is I stayed away from it like the plague. As some of you guys know, I used to be more political in 2015, 2016. And then the gay marriage thing happened, and I kind of backed off from politics. As you guys know, I'm not afraid to express my conservative views or my liberal views, because I'm me. I don't follow the pack. I don't go where the wind blows. I'm me. I follow what I think's best and what I think, but I don't force it down your throat. I let you think and show your perspective as well. But I think these people are just, I don't care what side it is, but I think people have gone berserk. Like, they have gone off the deep end. I don't know if this started with Barack Obama or Donald Trump, but the point is you have mad men on both sides. It's madness all around. And that is what scared me away from politics. It was not necessarily the politicians, which they're already bad enough, but the people that surround them can be the worst. And it's like a contagion, a disease, and it spreads. And I don't want to be a part of that disease. I don't want to be part of that group. I want to be me. I want to do what I want to do. I'm not going to go on. I'm done with Reddit. It's a good thing being banned. It's a blessing. It probably needed to be done. So don't go on Reddit no more. I mean, I could sign up for a new account and go in and start all over again, but I'm not. That being banned is, I'm banned for a reason. And I'm going to go with it, and I'm proud of it. Banned. Liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, red, blue, pink, orange, whatever. We all have our perspectives. But the thing is, this is something I wish that everyone was more open-minded to people's differences. If people took a step back, they would see the bigger picture and they would point out some pros and cons. So you ever heard of therapy where you have to say something good about the other person? Maybe we should start doing stuff like that. It never will happen. I say these things and it'll never come into light. So, but anyway, that's my point of view. Good talking to you guys. I'm probably gonna go back to bed after this. I'm not feeling well as well. So, all right, bye guys.